famous psychic medium had died, which inspired Steve to write the song The Clairvoyant. "I wonder if she foresaw her own death," Steve said. Then he wrote the song Seventh Son of a Seventh Son based off the novel. Both songs shared a common theme of foreseeing the future and clairvoyance. Steve took this idea to Bruce, which piqued his interest. They both decided to make this a loosely based concept album. The Seventh Son possessed magical powers of healing and seeing the future. The intro to Moonchild was a fusion of Bruce's discarded material from Somewhere in Time, the acoustic-y part, 7 deadly sins, 7 ways to win, 7 unholy paths to hell, and your trip begins. And the keyboard piece was written by Adrian Smith. He said it was originally more technical, but he could not convey it to the band. They also decided to rid themselves of the synthesizers, and instead replaced them with keyboards. The album produced 2 very successful singles and live staples, Can I Play With Madness and The Evil That Men Do. Graham Chapman from Monty Python was featured in the Can I Play With Madness music video. This was shortly before he died. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son went number 1 in the UK, the first of theirs to go number 1 since Number the Beast. They then toured relentlessly to support the very successful album, and Bruce was starting to have problems. His vocal range was damaged and he could not hit any more high notes like he used to. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son is an Iron Maiden classic and another one of their best albums. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son seems to be the reviewer favorite Iron Maiden album. So Seventh Son came out in 1988, so this one is full-on conceptual about the story of Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, where it's some sort of science fiction story. A son is born from a seventh son, and then there's this one evil dude trying to get him to use his powers for evil, and another dude trying to get to use his powers for good. The artwork is very, very good. This one is really cool, continuation of the last string of Eddies. This time he's ripped off the cybernetics. He still has a little bit of it, but it's basically that Eddie without the cybernetic head part and the lower body and some of the attachments. It's basically just kind of like the upper torso with spine, like electronic spine thing hanging out. He's holding, I believe, the Moonchild in his hands, like this big egg sack sort of thing with something inside of it. It's really cool though because he's floating over these weird ripples in the water and odd shapes everywhere, and he's in like a cool looking frozen tundra. It's all blue and shit. I really like it. Musicianship is also very great on this album, maybe not as fast or, fucking fiery as the last album. It seems like they slowed down a little bit, but a little more refined too, even though Adrian criticized that they played way too fast live at this period, which they did. Now, everybody for the most part sounds really great. Now, there is a problem that's kind of occurring in the lineup. Bruce started to develop a problem since the World Slavery Tour. He started to strain his vocals a little too much. They did so many shows, and on Somewhere in Time tour he did pretty good, but towards the end of it, he really started to sound like an old man singing. It was getting really bad. And on this album, he doesn't sing high that much. He'll do the occasional, but for the most part, he sings a little gruff, not really raspy, but just more of a mature voice as opposed to the high singing. The production is also very, very great. Probably not as good as Somewhere in Time, though. It has kind of a lighter sound to it. And they replaced the synths with keyboards, so it has this real magical type of progressive sound to it, which is really nice. But the drums kind of sound weird. Not a big fan of the drum sounds. They sound too thin. So the first song, Moonchild, has an intro that originally Bruce wanted to do for one of his acoustic songs for Somewhere in Time, but those all got scrapped. But they did incorporate it here and at the end of the album, which is really cool. So after the cool intro part, there's actually this really nice keyboard bit that Adrian does. So that kind of builds up for a while. The song gets really heavy, and Bruce kind of has that gruff vocal style. He's being the devil in the song, trying to get the Moonchild to join him, and he declines. Now, I'm not sure if that whole concept is part of the original story. Like I said, I think they just took an idea and then wrote their own stuff from it. The chorus is really great, though. Bruce is just, with the keyboards and stuff, just forms this amazing harmony between everybody, and the riff just sounds so great along with it. Then we kind of start to get to the middle section where we have a real fast gallop part where Bruce is whispering, threatening the
Moonchild. And the song erupts into 2 guitar solos, of course. The first one being an awesome, epic, fucking heavy guitar solo from Adrian. On this album, once again, they kind of have equal amount of solos. They're both equally great on this album. Then we have a cool little middle bit, and then we go into Dave's solo, which is maybe a little bit better. It's a lot of tapping, though, and real fast playing. But I don't know, Adrian's had a little bit more soul. I don't know who's to pick. They're both so great. And towards the end, near the final chorus, Bruce changes this one note in it. It's the part where he says, "Moonchild, you'll be mine soon, child." So overall, really great song, and it ends with that whole keyboard bit. Everybody's on their A game. It is truly a great song. Then we get to one of the more progressive songs from this album. The song starts with a really great melodic bit. I think this one's about him having premonitions and stuff in his dreams, and the way Bruce sings on the song is truly great. Maybe his best vocal performance on the entire album. It sounds very melodic. Instead of going incredible high, he actually uses a lot of his more chest voice. Then the song erupts into like a more heavier section and kind of the same thing, and Bruce is more yelling as opposed to, you know, screaming or hitting high notes. He's yelling it, and it sounds so great. I wish he did a little more tweaking with the vocal lines, though, where it has more diversity to it. And then we get to that somewhat chorus type of thing. I think it's the chorus, at least. Never a big fan of it, just really bores me. But then we get to the middle section, which is truly brilliant. There's a lot of great guitar harmonies and great galloping from the bass. They're all just going back and forth with craziness. First a solo from Dave, then cool melodic part, and then Adrian. It's just all over the place, as if he's seen this type of horrific event. Then we return to that chorus thing again. This time it's a little bit better. It seems like they have more of a harmony to it. And I love the keyboards throughout this song as well. They've really helped bring out the best of the band and make them sound more progressive and melodic. And the lyrics so far on this album are probably one of the strongest suits. The lyrics are just so well developed, especially on this song. Can I Play With Madness? Overall, though, it has nice melodies, especially during the chorus, the whole Can I Play With Madness part, but it feels a little bit cheesy. I think this one's about when you're young, you're kind of stupid, and you like question a lot of stuff. Even though I love the chorus, it sounds really melodic, never been a big fan of the verse at all. It just feels like Bruce is kind of singing a little bit raspy, and it's kind of annoying. And the lyrics are just kind of stupid on the verse, and the drums and production just kind of sound like it's like a makeshift boarded shack or something. It kind of feels like that on this song. Overall, though, the middle section, which is brief, is actually kind of cool. It has this really cool build-up, and the guitar solo comes in from Adrian, which has some sort of weird effect to it. So The Evil That Men Do, it's a very badass song, kind of melodic and depressing, sad atmosphere to it. I believe it has to do with love and stuff. So the intro's very, very badass, and it builds up this great melodic atmosphere. But then once we get to the verse riff, once again, it feels like it has that makeshift shack kind of sound to it with the rough and tumble bass and drum. Although it does get saved by the addition of keyboards, and Bruce's vocals on the song are very, very good. On the verse, he does that real great chest voice again. He sounds really melodic. I really like the way he sings it. Overall, the instrumentation is pretty damn good. The chorus is incredible. I really love it. Even though it is just kind of the name of the song over and over, Bruce sings it in such an incredible way. It is truly great. The lyrics are also something to talk about because they're very good. Maybe some of the best lyrics off the whole album because they feel very relatable. Then the middle section kicks in, which is really fast and frantic, really cool, and we get another Adrian Smith guitar solo, which is maybe one of his best off the L album. His solo is very diverse, though, very melodic as opposed to bluesy. Seems more like a Dave Murray solo, to be honest with you. So overall, The Evil That Men Do is pretty damn great. Then we get to the epic Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Holy shit. Used to be my favorite for a good long time, and I've listened to it so many times. Probably the one Iron Maiden song I've listened to the most, maybe, because I just love the end of it so much, so I'll try to dissect it for you. We get this epic as fuck build-up with these great heavy riffs, and they use the keyboard to kind of have this chant tone to it, which is really cool. Then we get to the main part of the song, which is like the chorus and verse parts, which are maybe my least favorite parts of the entire song, but they're still very good. It's more of a slow-paced thing. Bruce is singing very fierce, and it's really cool. The lyrics are really intricate as well, and very intelligent sounding, very cool. Basically, kind of just summing up the entire story. So, it's as if they didn't really need the whole concept idea anyways. We'll get some nice bridges and stuff with Bruce going like this great sustained note where it goes like, oh, for like a straight 20 seconds or something. It's really cool and also helps give this epic atmosphere to the song. Now the chorus is cool but a little mediocre, just seventh son of a seventh son, seventh son of a seventh son, seventh son of a seventh son. It's still overall cool so far. It works with the music, everything is a-okay, but then we get this nice melodic part where it's building up the middle section. Everything gets quiet as we get this dual harmony between Adrian and Dave. Really great part. And then the song gets almost dead silent. And similar to the middle part of Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, and in my opinion, maybe even a little bit better, has that great atmosphere to it as well, where everything is really quiet except you hear a great bass line from Steve consistently going. And then here comes this cool synthesized notes from the keyboard as Bruce is like, something of a seventh one, born of woman, the seventh son. The one, the seventh son, will have the power to heal. He has the second sight. He is the chosen one. So it shall be written, so it shall be done. Almost like the Emperor from Star Wars. And then here comes a chant and a couple guitar riff echoes, and it goes on for, this whole thing, middle part goes on for like 3 straight minutes or something, even longer. And when it's about to feel like it overstays its welcome, bum bum bum, the song has this great dual harmony riff part, like the one right before the middle, where they're building up the solo section, just this cool epic as hell riff and the synthesized notes together, everybody's working together, and then it explodes in a frantic non-stop speed until the very end of the song. We get a solo from Dave, and then a cool transitional part, another solo from Dave where he's tapping. Both solos are very great. I'd have to say though the tapping one's a little redundant. And then another transition part, which is kind of weird. Never been a big fan of that little transitional part, which they'll do again. But we get to Adrian's solo, which is really cool. It has some nice bends and effects to it. And it's just such a badass solo. Probably my favorite solo from the whole album. I really enjoyed this one. Then we get to Adrian's second solo, which is very simplified. It's still cool though. And both their solos complement each other well. I love both of their 2 solos equally. Now for my favorite part of the whole song, maybe my favorite part of the whole album as well. We get this harmony between Dave and Adrian, which is absolutely incredible. So I'll have like the harmony part playing right now so you'll know what I'm talking about. So I love that harmony so freaking much. It's so damn catchy and epic and feels like this song should have been like the last song in the album in my opinion, because it's just such an epic finale to it. It would have just been the perfect song to sum up the whole album and end it on this amazing note. Then we get into like a more of a ascending harmony, which sounds really great. They move together. It kind of goes into a part where they split apart both guitars. One's doing riffs while the other's doing this kind of intricate thing. And then they do a riff together and then the song ends. It's a very epic ending. Then we get to a song which a lot of people like to talk about, not necessarily in a positive way, The Prophecy. I never loved this song either for a good long-ass time. The Prophecy is about how he's trying to warn this village or something that a catastrophe is going to happen, they don't listen, and it happens, and he watches them all die, sadly. It seems like he kind of rips off that idea of deja vu again with that slow, melodic thing, because Dave Murray wrote the song. It's a really cool riff though, and intro, I really do enjoy it. Then we get this cool epic build-up riff, and it's more of a slow gallop. I do really like the riffs of the song. Musically, the song is perfect. If they would have had an instrumental, it would have been really great, because it feels like it is an instrumental, because the vocals and like the chorus and verse feel extremely forced on this song, especially the verse. The chorus just feels like it's wrecked by Bruce's attempts to get high notes. It's alright though, but the verse feels very forced, and a lot of people do not like the verse, because it just feels like he's not singing it melodically or really singing it with any passion. Although the middle is amazing and melodic, there's so many changes to it. It's so incredible. There's just different movements in the music all over the place. And we get this amazing solo from Dave Murray. And then the end of the song has this great epic type of build-up, but it doesn't really end there yet. It feels like the end of the song is actually a huge portion, because then we get this really great, almost medieval sounding acoustic bit from Dave Murray at the very end, which is maybe my favorite part of the whole song, and it is truly worth waiting till the end of this song. Then we get to one of my favorite songs from the album, and one of my favorite songs from them, The Clairvoyant. This song is very, very, very catchy, and a way better hit song than Can I Play with Madness or The Evil That Men Do. The bass intro is incredible. I really enjoyed that one. So the bass intro is very cool and very catchy. It helps build up the whole intro. Everybody keeps joining in at different points. It feels very, very catchy the entire song. Then we get to the verse, which is just so powerful sounding. The melodies and harmonies just sound perfect together, and Bruce really drives the song home. Everybody feels like they're very inspired while doing this song. Maybe even the most inspired on the entire album. And the cool bridge part where Bruce does that like sustain note where you get those great harmonies between the guitars together are just so incredible and to die for. The chorus, some have argued, and I do agree nowadays, that feels like it was different takes because it feels like whole different songs. All of a sudden, just complete tempo change to the whole chorus where it's a time to live, time to die, and all that. The lyrics are very great in the song as well. It feels very upbeat but almost depressing, as if he knows he's gonna die soon. And then in comes another Dave Murray solo, which is incredible. Holy shit, this one sounds so melodic. Drives the whole middle section with amazing harmonies. The solo goes on for a while and I really enjoy this. The middle section itself is kind of brief but really cool. Overall, the song's very diverse, somewhat progressive. There's a lot of changes in the song, but it feels like they could have had it in the middle section. It feels a little bit rushed. And everybody probably sounds the best on this song. Then we get to the final track, Only the Good Die Young. I love this song. Of course, it's very catchy. The verse is very cool. Kind of reminds me of Moonchild. Bruce is singing kind of raspy, somewhat in his chest voice. Then he'll do like great yells and stuff like that. The chorus is damn catchy and very melodic. Everybody joins in together, even though it is just the title of the song over and over. It is very great, and there's a lot of changes in the chorus. They'll bring in like different guitars and different lines every once in a while, adding tons of layers, and the song has many layers. Then we get to the cool middle section where we have a great solo from Adrian. It sounds very badass and bluesy. There's a little transitional part, really great, and then here comes a solo from Steve Harris. What the fuck? Yes, that's right, it's somewhat of a bass solo. There's a lot of great changes to it. You could argue maybe it's not a bass solo, just kind of a bass-driven part, but it's so cool. There's a lot of cool, quick changes to it. It's probably the best solo of the song, though, because it's fucking Steve Harris doing a solo. That's interesting, and you don't see that every day. So overall, the song has amazing harmonies, and then there's a cool, quick Dave Murray solo at the end, which is really nice. And then the song, kind of a problem I do have with it, my only problem, there's a lot of time wasted at the end for a big jam session. It's cool, but it's very unnecessary and out of place. But at the very, very end, if you stay a little bit longer, we get the whole intro again as an outro. It's really cool. It's actually maybe like the outro a little bit more than the intro because it feels like it has more soul to it. Seventh Son, though, is an amazing album. Regardless of the criticisms I've given to it, it's very, very highly praised, and I do think there's problems with it.